My last video was about how to defend punches in a street fight, Muay Thai boxing, and I generally kept it pretty fundamental with the gloves off. I had my hands showing the different methods how to defend yourself. Go check it out. And, briefly in that video, I just talked about how you should keep your chin down, you should look through your eyebrows, your hand should be up, your elbow should be in, typical boxing guard type of stuff. Now, I had mentioned the different guards you could use in boxing and got a lot of good feedback, a lot of requests on how to use those different guards. And this video, which will be for how to defend yourself in boxing in the context of actually having gloves on, I sort of want to elaborate on the whole idea of guards and understand that it's not so much that in boxing you have so many different guards that people use and intertwine, but it's also the idea that there's different defense maneuvers that usually go with each one of those guards. So let me elaborate, right? We know normally we have our typical boxing guard, and sometimes guys will get squared up and tight and give this peekaboo guard, I guess you can call it, or really people call it the shell. You got both gloves up, you're squared with your opponent, so you're pretty covered. And I talked about in the last video how when you're here, a lot of times different options present themselves for the opponent, because if you're here, they can loop around my elbow, they can cut between my gloves with uppercuts, or they can also frame on me now that I've pressed my own hands against me, right? So that would be like a con of using the peekaboo guard. But understand, when I'm in peekaboo, I don't have to use too much thought how to defend myself. In fact, a lot of times, if I raise it up and I look through this small window, now my head is very well covered. Obviously you got Mike Tyson, but a guy to really look at who uses that kind of guard is Go to Glory Kickboxing, Robin van Roosmalen from Holland. He won world titles basically just really getting up in guys' grills like this and just ripping all the good shots that come with it. Because when you're in the peekaboo, you're usually in a square stance, so you empower both sides with power and you can reload shots, right? So that's what's good about the peekaboo guard. But like I was also talking about the cons of them reaching around your elbows and just setting you up with the frames, it also sort of invites you in. Because let's say we're boxing, right? And I got this peekaboo guard up. I'm not putting nothing in between me and you. Whereas if we go into the long guard now, you see how I'm creating this barrier in between you and I. You got to get past my left hand, essentially, to really get to my body. And I'm putting up this barrier. Some guys will either keep this right hand home, or they'll also hold it out and they have the shoulder connecting to the chin, like so. So now you got two barriers you need to get across. And the thing is, if you do get across my hands, I can always pull it back to defend. Or if you do somehow get over my left arm, I can do what's called like an elbow raise, where I'm flipping my elbow up. And now this is serving as protection. So I'm here, you throw that hand, I elbow raise. But of course, if you do come into me, that's where from the long guard, as I elbow raise, I can have my right hand come across and go into this cross guard. And that's kind of the point of this video too, is I want guys to understand that it's not so much that there's these different guards you would use. I think that the Fight Night video game, which was really popular, kind of got guys realizing there's different guards and ways to intertwine them. But really just think of it like defensive maneuvers, because that's like a good example, right? If I was fighting and I have a standard guard and I'm throwing jabs, but now I want to keep him off me, so I get a little long. But then he starts coming at me. So instead of going back to like a peekaboo kind of thing, I cross over and I crash the distance, right? It's kind of like Floyd Mayweather. Like, he typically fights out of like a Philly shell. But when Floyd Mayweather gets in tight with people, that's when he sort of like, he doesn't do a cross guard, but he'll sort of cross his hands over and drive himself into them. And then he works from the inside, kind of like from this crash distance sort of guard. So let's say you're in the boxing standard guard, right? I'm throwing my jabs out. Someone times my jab, they come over the top, I flip the elbow, right? Now my hand is still out here, but I have other options by defending myself with the shoulder. So understand that it's not so much you're picking this guard, you're picking this guard, you're picking this guard. It's just different opportunities that present themselves. let's say I'm using standard guard and you're gonna come at me. This is kind of hard to conceptualize, but just bear with me. You're gonna come at me and you throw a right hand, so I shoulder roll. But what I could do is, if I wanna get around you, if I were to put my gloves up and try to take this big step around you, it might be tough. So I might shell up to then step myself around you because now I made myself smaller, right? Or if you're putting a lot of jabs out there, so you're touching my guard. Every time one of those jabs touches my guard, I know that you can hit me with the right. You found your distance. So I decide to go from having my hands here to putting them out a little bit. So now I'm kind of in like a long guard. So now when that jab comes, instead of me, like I said in the last video, having to parry it right here, I'm parrying it out here. And then what I could do is, as you throw that jab, since I'm in this long guard, my hand's high, I could tap it and come over the top with the right hand. So like we're normally in the standard guard, you parry and you shoot your own jab. With this long guard now, I could parry, come right over the top, and then follow a left hook. So normally all your punches are from this like chambered position. Now I'm out here, it's like pop, pop, right? Parry, hit. You get a little aggressive. I could take this left hand, stick it across to defend the chin. You see how my elbow's in the center line? My shoulder's on the chin, my hand is on this side like a catcher's mitt, and then I put this post out. So I'm here, you get a little aggressive, pop. I push you away, pop, pop. That's a little bit more of a Muay Thai thing, but I've definitely seen it in boxing. So that's the idea. Not that you need to be this master of all these different guards, just that when you're boxing, it's like, for you to stay here, you'll have all you'll ever need. You know, you parry the jab, you block the left hook, the right hook, you block the left hook, you dip for the elbows, you know, you can cover up your center line by shelling up, you can crash distance a bit, you kind of have everything you need. It's just that sometimes when you employ these different defensive moves, it creates other opportunities for you, and it does to your opponent, which is called giving different looks. Because when you give different looks to your opponent, right? I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. It keeps them having to adjust whatever way of attack that they're going to go for. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, try it out in the mirror, try different looks, different guards, different defensive maneuvers. You know, it also is good to sometimes change up your own defense, because if, let's say, someone was throwing at me, jab, cross, left hook, I can do the standard defense for that like so. Parry, cover, cover. But then as time goes on, what I can do is, when they throw that jab cross at me, I can parry, shoulder roll, right cross. And now it's like their intention was to pop this off all my static guard, because they've been doing it all day. They've been making contact, pop, 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 and I've just been pop, pop, pop. But then this time it's like, boom, and basically their left hook ceases to ever really exist because they already got hit in between their second to third punch. You see what I'm saying? Also with the long guard, if I'm here and the guy likes touching my glove, he's like head, body, head, body, head, body. And then I hit him with this, whoop, and now I'm long, putting that post out, right? Or if I throw my own jab, he slips. He wants to hit me with the body shot, but instead I turn and I get my hand on his head, and then I disengage. You see what I'm saying? That's a good Floyd Mayweather one. A lot of guys call it like, I don't know, they call Floyd's inside fighting the L guard because he makes a bar. I don't know about that. I really just look at it like it's a Philly shell sort of mixed with cross guard. But like I said, it only has to be for a moment in time. It's not even like he's holding this for that long. It's more just standard. Go watch Floyd. You'll see standard shoulder roll, right? Like defense. So, you know, go try all these things out. All right, and how could I end this without giving you a little demonstration of some of the stuff I talked about? So let's say I'm working this bag, right? I'm in my standard boxing guard. I'm throwing jabs, right? I'm touching the bag. I'm in range. Follow up with a combination. Now as the bag is swinging to me, instead of just gloving up, right? Since it's in tight, I put my shoulder over and I get my weight on him. From here, body shot left hook, right? I take this arm, I put it across, I get over to this side, I hit the left hook, left body hook. So I'm here, right? Let's say the guy's coming into me. Whoop! Whoop. Now what I'm gonna do is, I wanna disengage off this. I don't just wanna step back and get hit on the way out. I'm gonna get my glove up in his face, right? And I stay long on the way out. So let me show you that from a different way. I'm on the outside, right? I cross. I'm moving with the bag. Cross. I post as I move back, right? I don't just step back. I give that post as I move back. So it's kind of what I'm getting at. I'm not just in standard and then just hitting long guard. I'm using the long guard as it presents itself. If I could technically maintain distance from my standard boxing guard, that's perfect. If the opponent is able to get me is before I can get out. That's when I might put both hands up to get my cross guard going, to then post on my way out. If he gets right inside me, I gotta get my gloves up, right? And note, when you shell up, don't put your head down. Drop your legs and get your guard up like so. Now from here, I can rip my own shots right back and stay inside with him. Let's say I want to get around him. It may be hard to just step around him. So what I can do is, I can go, take that arm across, and sort of get my way around him now that I'm in tight. So see, from the inside, I've used the shell, the peekaboo, but then also, turn over and use that Philly shell sort of shoulder roll to get my way around. Or if I'm long, I was talking about picking off their jab from the outside. Let's say he's firing me. So I'm picking off his jab and then, pop, right? So my hands are up, they're high, pop, pop. But then I want to get inside and rip some shots. So from out here, when I get in, I'm into this not high guard, the like peekaboo guard, and I rip. So from the outside, I'm doing what I gotta do to keep my hands long and pick off his shots. But as soon as I get in, I'm trying to stay tight, and then right away, I stay tight. I got my arm across him now, put my weight on him. So, sort of what I meant by you intertwine the guards, but at different moments in time for different opportunities for yourself to attack, or for the opponent to have to work harder to get shots off on you.